Eleanor, and I'm a former employee of Atlanta Harm Reduction. I do know that I learned about Atlanta Harm Reduction when I was a drug user on the streets about 10 years ago. I remember Mona in the van coming up to Jet and James P. Broadley. They used to give out condoms, something that we couldn't afford, but it kept us safe. And we used to get the pipe shooter, the pipe holders and everything, and they really made sure that if we were going to be actively using, that we use safely. Some of the services that I got from AHARC are I was able to get my ID through AHARC while I was in treatment. I decided to go in treatment, and Atlanta Harm Reduction was actually on English Avenue then. And we couldn't afford ID, but it was one of the priorities of being in treatment. So we went around there and we met Harry. And Harry made it where he would fill out a voucher and we went and got ID. I was able to get glasses through AHARC. AHARC, it's all about what you need. It's not about if you can afford it or if you can't. It's about what you need to go about your everyday life. Atlanta AHARC is a vessel for this community. It strives on not what you do, but how you can do it safer. I came to AHARC. I had lost my job. I was working as a cook, and the doctor said I couldn't stand on my feet anymore, so I was getting unemployment. But I needed something to do every day because I didn't want to be just sitting around the house. So I came down and I asked, could I be a volunteer? And they welcomed me with open arms. They just said, sure, just come on in and go through the volunteer process. And I came every day. They gave me something to do every day. So I felt like my life was worthwhile. After I volunteered for about 3 or 4 months, then they hired me. And I was over data entry, and every day I got more responsibilities, and it made me feel like I was a part of this community, a part of AHARC. They don't let you just feel down about yourself. Every day was a different challenge. It was, would you like to go to outreach? I went to outreach, and I gave out the bread and everything, and pretty soon they would teach me how to do the needle exchange process. And it was like taking me through that process with baby steps. So every day I just learned more and more about AHARC. Then while I was an employee of AHARC, I became an employee of Georgia State University. And they helped me do everything, the whole process. I mean, I was afraid to leave AHARC because I had felt safe here, but they guided me through it. They said, well, you know, at some point you need to advance your opportunities. So I ended up with Georgia State University. And the way things go full circle is that through my process with Georgia State University, I still come back to AHARC. I volunteer here. There's nothing that I won't do for AHARC because they have nurtured me. They have showed me that even though you leave the community still needs you, and I need them. I need to be a part of AHARC. I need to volunteer with AHARC. I do know that AHARC is a real vessel for this community. A lot of times, the people in the community, when we talk to them in my everyday work, they want to know when AHARC is open, when AHARC is closed. AHARC is somewhere where they can go and be safe. They can come and get services. I did a lot of classes here at AHARC. And one of the classes really helped me because I ended up with hepatitis C. And if it had not been for AHARC and going through the classes with Hep C, then I would not have went and done the treatment. And I did the treatment with flying colors. When I first learned that I had Hep C, I was really skeptical. I was worried if I'm going to be able to do the treatment, if, you know, it's going to. A lot of times when you do drugs, you really don't care about your health, but coming to AHARC and knowing that there are ways that you can just find help. You can be nurtured. You can be taught about things that you really need to be taught about. I know while I was at AHARC, I was able to get annual HIV and AIDS testing. A lot of people, if it costs money and it has to do with their drugs, they're not going to get it. But AHARC, you can come and get it free. You can come get syphilis testing. You can come and get your vaccinations. And without AHARC in this community, I don't know where this community would be. It would be just another lost community with no hope, with no one to care for them. And a lot of times, a lot of the volunteers of AHARC, even though they go on to get gainful employment, they come back and they volunteer, like myself. I have 2 weeks off, and this is where I'm going to volunteer my time. I'm not going to sit at home and prop my feet up on. I'm going to come back to the agency that gave me my start. And I really thank AHARC for that. I thank Jeff, I thank Mona, and they welcome me. They welcome me to come back and volunteer. And that's one of the things that I know AHARC will always need volunteers. They always need people to come back and help out. And I will always be a volunteer at AHARC. All it is a phone call away.